What is going on, guys? Welcome back. Commentary for you. Want to thank my sponsor, Steel Supplements. Link and discount code down in the description. You also know I'm a Weeble perverted influencer. I'll put a link in the pinned comment. You can get the best promotion. They have free money. All you have to do is click that link. And I got to tell you, this is a video that to me talks about the laziness and the lack of passion EA has for their game. Obviously, we all know what's going to happen over the weekend. EA Sports trying to capitalize by giving you these Super Bowl moments. And I think if nothing else, if you watch this entire video, you'll understand where so many of us in the community expected this game was going to go to, and in many cases surpass. Right now, if you're just playing Madden the past couple years, your expectations are what EA does. They're going to put you into these scenarios that replicate just the moment. And when I say just the moment, I mean quite simply that. You're not given the correct players. You're not given the correct situations. You're not given anything other than what I would say is the lowest common denominator, the easiest and laziest way of replicating these situations. Here's the teams that played, and here's the scenario that it was in. No one at EA Sports actually taking the time to want to make it authentic, to want to make it the best that it is. So the reason I bring this up is because we're going to talk about 2K5. Console generations ago, and what 2K did for these moments. Because they wanted an authentic game. They wanted a realistic game. They didn't want you as a gamer to look at something like this. Current rosters. Any field will do. The weather isn't a factor. Simple scenarios. Because in my opinion, the people that worked on 2K, they love football. They wanted you to love football, and a big part of that is immersing you in football. So I want to show you the detail they went to, even in just recording for these. So I'm going to let Chris Berman explain to you the gameplay that I'm about to share with you and what it meant in that game when you got these moments.
When the new heating system underneath the turf failed, the minus 13-degree temperature froze the playing field solid. In the fourth quarter, Cowboys leading 17-14. Green Bay quarterback drove the Packers 67 yards to the 1. Faced with the prospect of kicking a field goal to send the game into overtime, the Packers opted instead for the quarterback sneak, scoring the touchdown that crowned them NFL champs and winners of the Ice Bowl.
Now, I also want to take a minute here to just appreciate, look at this field, just briefly. 4 minutes, 50 seconds left to go in the fourth. Now look at that field when the game is almost over. Can someone explain to me why EA Sports can't be doing this? Can someone make sense? Clint, put your hand down. I don't want to hear it. I know that you're just going to give me hollow excuses. I want to show you guys some gameplay. Look at this atmosphere. Does that look like the Ice Bowl to you? Yes, it does. Does this look like a weather-impacted game? Of course it does. Look at this play, though. You see these players, sure, they don't have their names due to licensing issues, but they went back and made sure that the details of these players were correct so that you were actually playing with the legendary players. And if you knew enough about the sport and love of the game, you would know who these players were meant to represent. Why can't EA Sports do this? Sean, you just need 5 minutes? Because you've had 15 years to get this done. Talk about looking at plays and seeing emotion in players. Right? Watch as this play ends and they go down to the field level and show excitement in players. Why can't EA Sports have things like this? I know, Swami, you guys just need 2 more years and you'll have it all figured out. But you guys haven't figured anything out. And that's why you can go back and look at games like this and know that without a doubt, sure, maybe 2K didn't always make a better product. Maybe they don't always make a better product, but you can actually go back and look and say, this is a game that was made with love for football. Watch this play right here. I want you to understand this. They audible into an all blitz. and the AI is smart enough to do a quick pass. Think about that. It's second in inches. They audible to a blitz, and the computer is smart enough to do a quick pass to the number one receiver. When this interception gets made, the commentators talk about how the snow impacts the throwing game. When you look at this moment, does it look like the Ice Bowl? Does it look like this game was played in the snow? Remember how many years we begged for EA just to change the sideline characters so that they weren't in shorts all the time? I know for a lot of you, 2K5, 2K8 were games you probably never played. It's interesting, when I went down to EA and I asked Clint if he'd played 2K5 and 2K8, at the time he told me he hadn't. And I thought that was really strange, because the fact of the matter is, even though these games are not printed anymore, there's still very much competition from a AAA developer that Madden deals with. And it's sad that we can go back each and every year and make videos that show EA is not at the level 2K was at. Because the reality is, for so many of us, this was the expectation going into 2006, 2007, 2008. If you look at All Pro Football 2K8, we were talking about 2009 and 2010. We're over a decade past this. We're console generations past this. We can joke about the excuses, the developers, the creators of Madden, but the reality is they have all the tools and more at their disposal. They have the NFL exclusivity agreement in their hand. And for some reason, they just can't quite get the NFL simulated, replicated, authentically. They go through the motions. They'll tell you that they're going to put these moments in the game. They'll put the logos on the user interface and make sure that the teams are there. But that's where it stops. And when I look at where we are now, based on where we should have been and what we could have came from, it's not just me being insulting to someone to say, you're lazy, you're uninspired, you don't care. I need them to show me why they aren't those things. Because the reality is, there's no way you could look at this video and not come to the conclusion that at least some of those reasons aren't why the game isn't where it needs to be. Love to know your thoughts on this. Appreciate you checking out. And as long as this game fails to deliver, I will always be able to be back with more commentary.